heartwarming to they are delivering the services, the care that they know how to do best. And this is something we should all be very, very happy about. So it's something we are all quite happy about. And I'm hoping that the dialogue as it is, because from what we've heard from all the states, the leadership of the nurses and midwives, and also committed to ready their work. I guess it's a win for all of us. We've been calling them to come back work for the sake of the ordinary people, and we need to also appreciate them and say we are grateful for this.
All right, so it's quite difficult hearing you or getting that smooth flow. I believe it's raining at some parts of Accra, so reason why we have all these difficulties. But yes, I've been engaging with Samuel Arthur, who is a health analyst, joining us to speak to us on issues surrounding the nurses' strike action. Obviously, he is excited that the nurses are back. We still had some few issues that we wanted to find out or get updates on. Yes, he's back now. So, Sammy, because of the rains, we are not getting that flow from you. But let me just find out from you, what do you think can be done in the near future to avert a future strike? Because, yes, human lives are involved here. People go through unbearable pain when health workers are not at post. So, kindly share with us, in your opinion, what you think we can do?
If I heard you, I guess.
Yes, go ahead.
Yeah, so if I heard you, I guess it was breaking at some point. But what these schemes that we have made in post and give care as we are all expecting, isn't it?
Absolutely.
Hello, Kweku, can you hear me? Great. So what it is, it's important that we visit the clear issues that the nurses have highlighted. And one, it has to do with the issue of bad faith on the part of government. Because we all have come to know that this collective agreement was supposed to be implemented way back in March 2024. And it's about a year on. And there have been several attempts by the leadership to reach out to government and various stakeholders. Unfortunately, government has not been able to budge in the manner that actually pleased them, and it pushed them to the point where they had to withdraw their services entirely. I guess that for me was unfortunate. It is important that in dealing with these associations, government continues to demonstrate goodwill, even in situations when they get so dire and it is clear that government cannot even take up the burden. It's important that they get clear people who can communicate this issue in a manner that will be devoid of ego, people showing their ego and people throwing their weight around and letting other people feel inconsequential, very little. That for me is an issue we need to listen to. The other bit we also need to look at is the bit about information and misinformation, and the leadership talked about it. To begin to look at this with a political lens, for me, is something we should actually take away from our discourse, because once we begin to look at it from a partisan political angle, it becomes difficult to come to the table with a good mind, a good heart to discuss the issues, knowing very how polarized these partisan politics is. So let's actually take party politics out of this dialogue and ensure that we will deal and engage these nurses and midwives as professionals. And like she said, that they can be respected as equals in their ranks, and then also ensure that whatever issues they are seeking to resolve by the various requests are actually dealt with. Now, it is important that we bring out some of the issues that actually played out like mischief, exactly when certain media houses put out clear misinformation, making it look like the nurses were asking for far too much. That for me also was unfortunate. It's important that the media, either our traditional media or social media, in situations like this, we all get a bit measured in our vituperations and be careful not to be touching on the sensibilities of people. But it became clear at a point that the nurses actually had taken an entrenched position because they felt that they were not valued, and for that matter, they also felt they had to play the
Samuel, at a point well made there. Thank you very much for your time this evening. Well, if you will indulge me to bring you some more stories on the nurses, President John Dramani Mahama has assured nursing trainees across the country that payment of their delayed allowances are being processed and disbursed. It will begin disbursement from next month. We're speaking during the Durbar of Chiefs at Naregu as part of his thank you tour of the Northeast region. The President said the necessary arrangements are being finalized to ensure consistent and timely payments of the allowances.
The Naregu College of Nursing and Midwifery is one of the colleges that has been selected for upgrading into a degree awarding institution. And I can assure you, your alawa is being worked on, and by next month you will start receiving payments. We have designed it such that your payment will come automatically every month, so that there will be no arrears. Every month you receive your money. But then the budget was made from January, and so when we start paying you next month, the arrears from January to June will be paid to you.
Let's bring you some more stories now. There is a looming shortage of vaccines if the government fails to prioritize the timely payment of vaccine co-funding obligation. Well, he delayed payments according to non-governmental organization Hope for Future Generations will also lead to ripple effects including child mortality, public health security, and adverse economic productivity. Well, Executive Director for Hope for Future Generations, Cecilia Sonu, is therefore appealing to the government to honor its co-payment obligation for 2025 and also develop a clear roadmap to fund its vaccine production in order to avoid future shortages. The call was made during a sensitization workshop on the Financing Immunization Advocacy Response Project.
We cannot wait for our children to die through preventable diseases. What we are doing is to remind the government. I know they are already doing something, and they are yet to even pay the co-financing for this year. And so what we are requesting and also working with the media to achieve is to ensure that Ghana meets its co-financing obligation for vaccine. Vaccine sovereignty is very important. Our children are key. If we don't prevent diseases, then let's be sure that we will not have any future for this country. Gavi has been supporting us and they continue. Not only Gavi, all the development partners including Global Fund. Now it is time to own our health, because the conditions and the diseases we have here, they also have it in their countries. And you know, Sub-Saharan Africa is going through a lot of challenges because of debt. There are diseases. We are the first continent that get all these diseases, and we cannot wait for our children. So we are just calling on government, Ministry of Finance, National Health Authority, Ministry of Health, Ghana Health Service, to ensure that we meet our co-financing obligation to Gavi.
All right, so I want to stay on the subject some more. Gladys Damalin is the Senior Programs Manager for the Hope for Future Generations, a non-governmental organization advocating for the timely payment of Ghana's vaccine co-financing obligation. Thank you very much, Madam, for your time tonight. So let me find out from you, how late is Ghana on our quest to, co-finance our obligation when it comes to the co-financing vaccines arrangement?
Okay. Hello, good evening to you and good evening to your viewers. And thank you for the question. The government of Ghana is yet to pay its 2025 co-financing obligation. The schedule is such that every year, by the first quarter, the government of Ghana is expected to pay its share of the co-financing amount. And so for the year 2025, the first quarter is gone, and we are in the second quarter. The second quarter is almost gone. We have about 2 weeks, and June will end. And so if we don't do this payment on time, it has some implications on the country and our children and parents as a whole. I'm happy to say that
before you go on
in the
with
course
the
of the
consequences,
week,
before you go on with the consequences, a stakeholder might feel that, oh, well, our children are still fine. I mean, it's just a half-year delay, and so there might not be any problem as such. But can you share with us, what are some of the consequences of vaccine shortages?
Thank you. You know, if the government does not pay its co-financing obligation on time, it delays the whole process. It means that Gavi cannot procure the vaccines on time and ship them down. And when that happens, when you move to the child welfare clinics, you will notice that the vaccines are not available. So you will take your child to the CWC and they'll tell you that this very antigen is not there. And when it happens that way, you would notice that the children are exposed to diseases that could be prevented by the vaccines. So, for example, we are immunized against measles, we are immunized against TB, against polio, and all other preventable diseases that you can think of. So if the children are not vaccinated, it means they are exposed to these diseases. If they are exposed to these diseases, they would fall sick often, and parents will have to take them to the facilities to be treated. Now, if a parent is working, and that parent will have to ask permission from work 2 days, 3 days, then you know that productivity is lost there. Even the burden on our health system, just look back whenever we have outbreaks. Just look at how our health system is stretched. Some are lying on the floor, their beds are not there, nurses are not attending to them. So I believe that if we could prevent, it will be better for us. And so these are some of the consequences. It's a burden on our health system. Parents will have to take days off to attend to their children, and productivity will be lost.
Okay.
Some children may even die as a result of that. If they are not immunized and exposed, children may die. And that alone, I think, it wouldn't augur well for our country.
All right, Gladys, thank you very much. We're grateful for your time, and together with your team, keep up the good work that you are doing. But some relieving news for us. The Ghana Health Service will, from Monday 16th to 30th June, embark on a nationwide exercise to assess immunization coverage among children under 5. 160 data collectors have been trained for the 2-week exercise to verify administrative data, identify coverage gaps, and document reasons for the non-vaccination. Well, about 1.3 million children under 5 are estimated to be captured in the exercise.
Survey by the expanded program on immunization under the Ghana Health Service will provide reliable immunization performance to help identify under-vaccinated populations and support efforts to improve delivery and disease prevention in the country. An estimated 1.3 million children under 5 years are to be captured in the 2 weeks exercise.
What we want to know is whether the figures we are getting from our administrative data, which is what we go and pick when we go to the field to immunize the children, actually reflects us on the ground. Because we know sometimes some children may live in a community and go and vaccinate in another community or another district. So you have 2 adjoining districts. One district has maybe has coverage of about 150%. The next district is having 40%, and probably because district A has, let's say, health facilities and district B doesn't have. So if you look at it on the surface, it will mean district B is not doing well. But what we want to go and assess is that we are going to enter both districts and find the children and find out if you've taken the vaccine or not. Then we can actually assess whether the children we are vaccinating are everywhere as we think. So in the end, District B may end up having all the children vaccinated, but it's because of the population issues. That is why they are looking like God, because of other structural issues, like for instance, health facilities, health workers, things like that.
160 trained data collectors, 40 supervisors with identification tags will be conducting the exercise with support from the Ghana Statistical Service. The exercise is to help in planning and identifying areas with low coverages.
Conducting today is the last day, 3-day training session to ensure that again we remind ourselves, though we know already, of what is expected of us exactly. On the field, we are deploying about 160 data collectors. In addition to their supervisors, we will be about 200 on the field, just to ensure that every corner in this country is actually well covered. And we are providing adequate or ample time with a period of 2 weeks to ensure that we have enough time to be able to reach all those we are expected to reach. We envisage that there will be the need for some multiple visits to be able to get our people. We'll give them enough time. So the data we'll get, we are very sure that, okay, this is what it is.
Away from health matters, let's now do politics. Well, although New Patriotic Party is yet to begin processes of restructuring and electing new branch, constituency, regional and national executives, the race for the party's 2028 flag bearer slot is already gaining momentum. Well, former Second Lady Samira Bawumia is leading calls for a second shot at the presidency for Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, rallying party faithfuls to throw their support behind him. Well, at a Thanksgiving event organized by the MPP Zanga Women's Group, some former appointees also joined the call, urging party members to endorse Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia as the party's candidate for the 2028 general elections.
Dust has barely settled on the 2024 elections, but momentum is already building within the New Patriotic Party for the next big political contest in 2028. Although the party is yet to begin restructuring and electing new executives, calls are growing louder for Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia to lead the MPP once again. At a Thanksgiving event organized by the MPP Zongo Women's Group, former Second Lady Samira Bawumia took center stage, rallying support for her husband to be given a second shot at the presidency.
Inshallah, the next president of the Republic of Ghana, His Excellency Alhaji Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, also the winning Mosi, also Anamoa Mutuyano, Meniso, Adam Wasi Sanda, Unimse Muye Jumading Edemanu. Victory 2028. Inshallah.
Some former appointees in attendance echoed her sentiments, calling on the rank and file of the MPP to unite early and build momentum around Dr. Bawumia ahead of the party's official reorganization process.
We have seen what Dr. Bawumia has done so far, and then Allah has chose Dr. Bawumia for us to lead the party. I think that's what I have to say. Dr. Bawumia is a great person, and we have seen that he came, the day they defeated us, he came out boldly, he accepted the defeat. No president has done that before. So I think he deserved the second time.
There is nothing like losing badly. It's rather the work of God who had designed the path for him. So he is coming strongly, vibrantly to win by the grace of God. The time that God has scheduled for him, he is coming, and that will be, the time is 2028.
Though the official race for the flag bearer position is yet to begin, the growing endorsement signals that the contest could become one of the defining battles within the MPP in the coming months.
MPP!
All right, so we were billed to speak to Pelgrave Boache Dankwa, who's a former government spokesperson on security and governance and currently with the Kennedy Japan camp on this particular story. But much as we've tried, we've not been able to reach him. As and when we are able to raise him on the line, we'll let him speak to some of the issues that has been raised in this particular story. But let's still stay on politics, as President John Dramani Mahama has directed the Ghana Armed Forces to provide armed escort and protection for all vehicles traveling within the Boko area as part of efforts to ensure safe passage along conflict-afflicted corridors. Well, the president announced during his visit to the northeast region in Naregu that military protection will be provided along the Boko Paul-Macron Bolgatanga corridor and the Wale-Wale Bolgatanga corridor, where security concerns have affected transportation and commerce. Well, he also confirmed that the military escort services have already yielded some results, stating that food convoy trucks that were blocked are no longer stopped in Bolgatanga and have reached their destination safely. We're grateful that you've stayed with us till this time of the bulletin. If you're just joining us, it's the weekend edition of News Tonight. My name is Kweku Temeng. We're not done with the bulletin, of course. We have great stories coming up, so do stay with us. I'll be back shortly, even before you blink. Stay with us. We'll be back soon. Well, thank you very much for keeping faith with us. My name is Kweku. The program is News. Tonight is the weekend edition, and we're still bringing you some more local stories. Well, 7 Lawra senior high school students, rather on a sad note, have died in a tragic canoe accident after a vessel carrying 10 members of the school cadets course capsized in the Black Volta River near Dikpe in the Upper West region. Well, the incident occurred on Saturday, June 14, during a routine morning jogging exercise. Well, eyewitnesses say the students had extended their usual route to the Dikpe Bridge area and attempted to cross the river in a canoe believed to be overloaded. Well, the canoe overturned mainstream, throwing all 10 students into the water. Rescue team and local volunteers launched an immediate search and recovery efforts. The bodies of 4 students, 2 males and 2 females, have been retrieved, while 3 others, all female, are still missing. However, 3 students survived and are receiving medical care and psychological support. Sources close to the school confirmed that early morning jogging is a regular activity for the cadet team, but the reason behind their attempt to cross the river remains unclear. May the souls of the students rest in perfect peace. Later in our subsequent bulletin, we'll be bringing you more details on this particular story. You could also share some of the snippets that you pick with us on our social media platform. In other stories this evening, a family in the Western region is demanding answers after a 15-year-old boy allegedly committed suicide in police custody. Well, the incident, which occurred at the Takwa Simpa police station, has sparked outrage, with the family calling for an independent investigation into the matter. There's more in the following report.
A cloud of grief hangs over the family of Simon Obeng, a 15-year-old boy who died under mysterious circumstances in police custody. Simon was arrested last Thursday after he was accused of stealing gold from his employer. He was brought to the Takwa Simpa police station by the company's foreman and detained. According to police accounts, Simon was found hanging in his cell on Sunday morning, an alleged suicide. Authorities say the family was promptly informed, but the family is not convinced.
Because nipa no sign ho anka obe prepre man sebio nka obe jane nan awo no ho ama wo hu se wa jane nan obe jinso obe hu se jinso gu fam ho but ye hu jinso wo fam ho ye hu se wa jane nan so ho di hu ane se wo sign ho enu nko ane ade na ka trema de na ho no antwe kese antwe amba te se de wa me hu bibli na so bi sign ho obo se na ka trema atwe na ekese kakraka but ye hu ne sa
nti mu wo no prison yen se edan mpo na oda kwala no tum no wa transfer kwala na afi edan A na kwa dan B nti woni nyina na enya de eburu adwene nti asa ye ko ya na yedi wa bobo kwesi ahomache na phone bele ye se ye mre police station ho ahomache no be around 5:40 no mo ye koduru ho no mo na police ni ba ko na ye kote won de mi koduru no de ma ti se menini ekasa se wo se anapa 8 na mebere menana no.
On Saturday, just a day before his death, the foreman, Ezekiel Asari, and mining site owner, Nanedu, reportedly attempted to bail the boy, but were unsuccessful. The family is demanding to know why a miner was denied bail and left unsupervised. Adding to the confusion, police reports claim Simon stated in his own written statement that he was 18 years old, but his mother, Ekwiata, says that's not true.
me bani wuo no me nti ase enti me ho ba bia me de ba samofa me so me ni bi kwadwuma na me ye me ni bi enti aba mu wa me na ye hwehwem na me hu di asam no ebesi na me sa ka me ba na me sie no na me trase.
The family believes there is more to the story. They are calling for an independent investigation and urging government and human rights institutions to intervene. Meanwhile, the Ghana Police Service says an internal investigation has begun and assures the police of transparency and professionalism in handling the case. For now, the family mourns their loss while demanding the truth. The question remains, how did a minor end up dead in a police cell? Hajia Fatih Karim's reports for GHOne News.
We sincerely apologize for showing all the graphic images that we just brought to you in the story. Let's still stay with security and here. The police in the Bono region have made significant arrests in their latest clamp down on illegal mining. Well, 31 individuals, including 15 Chinese nationals, have been remanded after a raid in several mining enclaves. Regional Police Commander DCOP Yao Tetega says the fight against Galamsey is being stepped up with stronger community support.
Police in the Bono region are tightening their grip on illegal mining operations. A high-risk security operation in the Wenchi, Brenan, Subinsu, and Pine Forest areas resulted in the arrest of 31 people. Among them are 15 Chinese nationals and 16 Ghanaians, all of whom have been remanded into custody for 2 weeks. Regional Police Commander DCOP Yao Tetegan says the suspects were arrested with 8 excavators, 4 pump action guns, and other items believed to be used in illegal operations. The police have deployed 78 officers across the illegal mining zones to secure the forest areas and prevent a resurgence. Authorities say the operation also uncovered alarming trends of drug use and illegal weapons, raising further security concerns.
They can't be in the bush for vain. So we'll make sure that if you step into the bush to go and do any illegal mining, be brought to book. Also, the drug menace within the area, we are giving them a caution that they should desist or they find themselves at the wrong place of the law.
The Bono Regional Police say they will sustain the pressure on illegal mining networks but need the public's help to win the fight. In a related development, MP for Sunyani West, Millicent Amankwa Yeboah, has donated a pickup vehicle and 2 motorbikes to the Bono Regional Police Command.
Together with my regional minister, we had a conversation and we decided to donate this pickup, which is a personal pickup of mine, to show a commitment that we are ready to serve and help the good people of Sunyani West and Bono generally. And I believe that
the support aimed at enhancing police visibility and response time in hard-hit areas comes at a critical time, especially for remote communities along the Sunyani Brekrum stretch.
We can use it to patrol on our roads to curb robbery activities on the road.
Bono Regional Police Commander DCOP Yao Dogbe Tetegan expressed deep appreciation for the MP's timely intervention, pledging that the assets would be deployed as intended to protect lives and property.
Let's bring you more on security as the Central East Regional Police Command, through its special operations on Thursday, 12 June 2025, arrested 19 suspects in connection with robbery activities and illicit drug trade within the Kaswa Dominance Enclave and the Onion Market in the Central Region. The police retrieved substances suspected to be Indian hemp as well as controlled pharmaceutical drugs such as tramadol and red. All 19 suspects are currently in police custody assisting in investigations and will be put before court in due process. All All right, all is set for us to bring you the latest from our world of business. Tonight, President John Dramani Mahama has directed the Minister of Finance, Energy and Green Transition to closely monitor the escalating conflict between Iran and Israel and propose measures to safeguard Ghana's recent economic gains against a potential rise in fuel prices. Well, he stated that Ghana remains vulnerable to global economic shocks despite recent progress in stabilizing the local economy. While speaking during his thank you tour of the Savannah region in Damango, President Mahama noted that the hostilities in the Middle East could erode the impact the cost of living for ordinary Ghanaians and show economic growth due to the rise in global crude oil prices.
Despite the work we have done in stabilizing the economy, Ghana is not immune from the shocks of global events. Recent events in the Middle East, which involve an exchange of missiles between Israel and Iran, have started to escalate crude oil prices dramatically. I've asked our Minister of Finance and Minister of Energy to keep a close eye on the development and model the possible impacts on our petroleum prices and prepare measures to protect the recent gains that we have made.
All right, so thank you very much for staying with us. We still have a story coming in a few minutes ago. The Ghana Revenue Authority, that's the GRA, has announced a postponement of the implementation of the tariff interpretation order, which was intended to operationalize aspects of the Energy Sector Levies Amendment Act 2025, Act 1141. Well, the decision follows a directive from the Minister of Finance issued after stakeholders consultation. Well, the deferred measure would have increased the energy sector shortfall and debt repayment levy on selected petroleum products starting June 16, 2025. In an official statement signed by the Commissioner General of the GRA, Mr. Anthony Kwesi Sapon, the authority directed all ports and stations as well as relevant internal and external stakeholders to take note of the postponement. Well, the directive also has been communicated to the Commissioner of Customs, sector commanders, technical service heads and key industry players, including the Managing Director of the Ghana Link Network Services, the National Petroleum Authority, that's the NPA, and the Association of Oil Marketing Companies. So that's the latest coming through. The 1 Ghana cedi on the petroleum levy has been postponed, and it is signed by Anthony Kwesi Anoche, that's the GRA boss. All right, so that's about all we have for you in business. But that letter was signed by Mr. Anthony Kwesi Sapon, Commissioner General of the GRA. Yes, we're coming back with some more. Do stay. We'll be back soon. So in sports tonight, the former Black Queens captain and coach Mercy Tego Kweku has urged Ghanaians to be patient with the new coach of the Black Queens, Kim Lars, as he prepares the team for the 2025 Women's AFCON. Well, Kweku, who has been speaking with EIB's Monica Bukari, believes that Coach Kim has what it takes to be successful with the women's team.
1 or 2 players out of the justifier, but then I've already also spoken with the Abinwaha players who are already in the system, who know the terrain and understand premiership. So I've spoken to about 6 of them, and I'm going to replace 6 of my players in the Division 1 that I brought from Division 1. I'm going to give them out for loan, so that they go and get the playing time, so that these well-endowed players will replace them for me to carry on with the premiership.
All right, so still with sports, the Chief Executive Officer of the Division 1 side, Golden Cake, Joseph Upton, is confident of victory over the Asante Kotoko in the MTN FA Cup final. Well, the Division 1 league side faced the 9 times champion at the University of Ghana Stadium on Sunday in the final, looking to wrap up their fairy tale run. Well, Golden Link beat 2 top flight sides in Hearts of Oak and Karela United en route to reaching the final of the cup competition, and Upton believes his side can get over the line when they come up against the Porcupine Warriors tomorrow.
Well, for me, I always say football is all about merit. It's not about convenience. No? What is going to happen is that we are going to give our best on the field. We know they are going to give us a stiff opposition, which we are ready for, and we believe in that with our philosophy and our tactics. At the end of the 90 minutes, we are going to come out with the flying colors. We are going to win the game by 2 goals. We already beat the club with the most successful record in the FA Cup competition, which is House of Oak. We already beat them. So it should be no news when we beat Kotoko.
You should trust that EIB Sports will bring you all the updates in tomorrow's game. That's the FA Cup final. Well, organizers of the annual Ghana Fest Alberta have promised an unforgettable cultural celebration as they gear up for the 3rd edition of the event, set to take place at Edmonton, Canada, with preparations already underway. Well, the festival is expected to attract thousands of Ghanaians and friends of Ghana from across North America and beyond. Well, the event will showcase the country's rich heritage through music, dance, food, art, and fashion.
The 3-day festival, scheduled from July 25th to July 27th, is themed Bridging Cultures from Ghana to the World. It aims to promote unity and appreciation for Ghanaian culture within Canada's multicultural society. Organized by Ghana Fest Alberta Incorporated, the event is held in partnership with the Diaspora African Forum, the Ghana Tourism Authority, and the National Commission on Culture. Speaking on the sidelines of a press soiree to officially launch the festival, Jonathan Mingo, head of business and partnership at Ghana Fest Alberta Incorporated, promised a vibrant celebration of Ghanaian identity, heritage, and global collaboration.
There are a lot of Ghanaians who are abroad and have lost touch with our heritage or where we come from or our roots. And then there are a lot who are also born in Canada who have never seen anything Ghanaian. So this is the platform where we showcase what we have as a country to our brethren in the diaspora as well as other people from diverse cultures. And Ghana has a very rich culture, from our dance to our food to our music. And so they get to experience the real Ghanaian heritage.
For her part, the Chief Executive Officer of the Ghana Tourism Authority, Mami Efua Huajeto, reaffirmed the government's commitment to supporting such initiatives. However, she encouraged exhibitors and entrepreneurs not to only network and build partnerships with their Canadian counterparts, but also promote Ghana through proper packaging and presentation of their products and services.
Our products are beautiful. We have good products, but
we were lacking proper packaging, and I believe that a lot of the products have improved, and we are seeking for more people who want to, engage or keep selling Ghana products or promote Ghana products to be mindful of the packaging. Your packaging is everything. Your packaging sells you.
The 2025 Ghana Fest Alberta will feature electrifying musical performances, authentic Ghanaian cuisine, and captivating cultural displays.
Well, it's set for me to bring you some international stories. All right, so we're bringing you some international updates, and here Israeli Defense Minister has warned Saturday that Tehran will ban if Iran continues firing missiles as the two countries traded blows a day after Israel launched a blistering surprise attack on Iranian nuclear and military sites, killing several top generals. Meanwhile, Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu says Israel will strike every site and every target of Iran after Iran launched waves of missiles in retaliation for Israeli strikes on Friday. Well, the Israeli military says it will still strike Iran and has hit more than 150 targets in the past 24 hours. However, Iran's President Masoud Pezeshkian has threatened a more severe response if Israel continues its attacks. Moreover, the UK is sending more jets to the Middle East for contingency support across the region after Iran warned the UK as US and France that it will target their bases and ships in the region if they help stop the strikes on Israel. Well, the Israeli officials say 3 people have been killed and dozens injured, while Iranian state TV reports that 60 people were killed in a strike in Tehran. The strikes can come after Washington and Tehran were due to resume talks on Iran's nuclear program on Sunday, but now the talks have been cancelled. So that's about all we have for you tonight. But I'm sincerely grateful that you have stayed with us throughout the bulletin till this time. We continue to affirm our stance that when it comes to information, education, and entertainment, you look nowhere else than GHOne TV. Well, keep the channel right here because we promise nothing than the best for you. Enjoy the rest of your evening. On behalf of the entire production team, we salute you. Enjoy your evening.